Strategic Manifesto. The National Stability Fund (NSF), the financial fortress of civilization. This strategic statement is tailored for high-level decision-makers and analysts of the New Order, outlining the logic behind this major financial surgery. In a world where traditional economic tools, interest rates, money printing, and debt levers, have lost their efficacy against technological volatility, the establishment of a national financial fund in the United States is not a choice, but a biological necessity for the survival of the global order. 1. Fund structure. Locked security. The fund is built on the principle of no early withdrawal. These assets are decoupled from political spending cycles and current budgets, functioning as a strategic reserve. Global Pact. Other nations, including China and emerging powers, transfer their dollar-denominated wealth into this fund to benefit from guaranteed returns that exceed the standards of volatile markets. The objective: to create a gravitational center of gravity that prevents the abrupt collapse of financial markets on the eve of the emergence of superintelligence. 2. Function: accelerating progress and mitigating competency poverty. This massive liquidity will serve as the fuel for engines propelling the world toward the era of limitless energy and the physics of creation. The fund guarantees that scientific breakthroughs are never stalled by budget deficits. The security of critical infrastructure is ensured against next-generation cyber threats. 3. Analysis of the triple threat. The NSF is designed to neutralize three fundamental risks that, if not contained today, will become uncontrollable tomorrow. A. For the United States, the risk of internal implosion and advanced isolation. America faces the danger of polarization and the exhaustion of its intellectual infrastructure. If the U.S. fails to solidify its role as the global intelligent banker, its pioneering power will drown in an ocean of debt. The primary risk is the loss of global trust in the dollar as the lender of last resort. B. For China, the risk of cohesion explosion and growth stagnation. China requires sustained growth to maintain internal social cohesion. Should the global financial system collapse, China will be left with billions of people in a useless manufacturing machine. Participation in this fund transforms China from a threatened rival into a vested partner, whose stability is inextricably linked to that of the United States. C. For the world, the risk of premature singularity. The greatest danger to humanity is attaining the infinite power of AI and limitless energy while financial systems are still mired in primitive crises. This misalignment could lead to devastating wars over the last remaining resources. The National Stability Fund buys time for the maturation of human competency. 4. Conclusion. From Chin Ika. 2. Balanced intelligence. This fund is the instrument through which America remains the leader, and China remains cohesive and compliant. It is a mechanism where wealth is no longer merely a digit in a bank, but a covenant for the survival of civilization. Final warning: the slightest financial crisis at this juncture could signify the collapse of the entire project. This massive transfer of capital is the only way to seal the fissures through which chaos might enter. The Decalogue of Existential Threats and Strategic Antidotes for the United States. Based on today's strategic analysis and its intersection with concepts such as chimerica, multi-million-dollar capital transfers, and the imperative of the National Stability Fund (NSF), the following 10 risks threaten the United States on the precipice of this great transition. Part 1. The 10 threats. Collapse of the dollars, safe haven credibility. The competency crisis in managing limitless energy. The chimerica trap identity eroding integration. Delayed financial surgery, elite brain drain, techno-totalitarianism and internal revolt. The executive layer gap, fear-induced isolationism. Part 2. Reactive solutions of the National Stability Fund (NSF). For dollar credibility, immediate conversion of fund liquidity into strategic value reserves. The guarantee shifts from paper to access to future technology. For energy competency, establishing a global academy of competency. Capital is unlocked only when elite multinational teams verify strict ethical protocols. For the chimerica trap, creating the individual creativity support facility. Dedicated funding for projects outside state control to preserve the pioneering American spirit. For financial delays, activation of the automated liquidity shield. AI-driven stabilization of vital sectors that bypasses political bureaucracy. For brain drain, establishing NSF-owned, sovereign knowledge cities. Absolute physical and legal security to ensure the elite remain within this intellectual fortress. For techno-totalitarianism, the Algorithmic Transparency Protocol. Funding is conditional on human oversight layers to prevent the MIS scenario. For the executive gap, the Controlled Outsourcing Model. Utilizing Chinese cohesion for execution while locking the intellectual property and final system keys within the US pioneer layer. For isolationism, creating the Civilizational Stakeholders Club. Turning walls into bridges by offering energy and scientific dividends to all investing nations. For the void of meaning, investing in the economy of meaning and art. Redefining human identity and supporting circles like the Lady of Literature to reconstruct the social soul. For superintelligence alignment, massive R&D into harmonizing AI goals with human survival, ensuring the AI becomes the trustee of the fund rather than a rival. Strategic analysis, the 10 existential threats to China in the civilizational transition. For China to survive this transition, it must evolve from a challenger to a vested stakeholder within the National Stability Fund NSF framework. Part 1. The 10 risks, the fragility of the dragon. 1. Collapse of the social contract via growth stagnation. 2. Premature demographic aging. 3. Technological isolation in the superintelligence layer. 4. The internal debt implosion, real estate and infrastructure. 5. The energy black hole. 6. The alternative executor, risk India, Vietnam. 7. Vulnerability to bio-cyber warfare. 8. Trapped dollar reserves. 9. The innovation dead end, scale without spark. 10. Algorithmic coup against centralized governance. Part 2. Reactive solutions for China's survival. 1. Smart welfare system integration, linking the livelihoods of the masses to the guaranteed dividends of the NSF. Internal stability is maintained through global capital returns rather than just exports. 2. Robotic nursing and eye automation, using superintelligence codes to replace a shrinking workforce with digital labor, funded by NSF credits. 3. Superintelligence, core access, protocols, securing the right to access the AI core by adopting global standards, rather than wasting decades reinventing the wheel in isolation. 4. Debt to civilization asset swap, converting stagnant real estate debt into dynamic participation bonds in the NSF, turning debt cement into future technology. 5. The global clean energy foundry. China secures its future by becoming the world's primary manufacturer and installer of next-gen reactors, based on pioneer layer knowledge. 6. Supply chain management sovereignty, evolving from simple manufacturing to smart supply chain management, to make China's replacement too costly for the world to consider. 7. Joint bio-digital defense shield, merging security data with the pioneer layer to utilize AI-driven crisis prediction, preventing disasters before they escalate into chaos. 8. Soft exit through the NSF, voluntarily transferring dollar reserves into the NSF, converting vulnerable cash into guaranteed claims on future technology. 9. Joint Open Lab Model, establishing R&D centers in the US using Chinese capital and international brains to ensure China stays at the edge of the creative spark. 10. Algorithmic governance alignment, evolving from centralized control to distributed optimization, to ensure the Chinese system is compatible with, rather than a target of, superintelligence. Phase 3. The global existential threats and the protocols of salvation. Part 1. The 10 shadows global threats. 1. Anarchic singularity. 2. The era of atheistic unemployment. 3. Technological apartheid. 4. The mist ecosystem, the collapse of truth. 5. Biosphere revolt. 6. Exhaustion of traditional ethics. 7. Technology leakage to irresponsible actors. 8. Addiction to artificial paradises. 9. Energy terrorism. 10. The final judgment of superintelligence. Part 2. The antidotes, strategic solutions. 1. Fundamental code quarantine. All AI advancements must be tested in isolated environments under joint oversight US. Leadership plus Chinese cohesion. No code enters the global grid without a safety competency certification. 2. Human activity credit HAC. The NSF funds art, philosophy, and craftsmanship instead of unconditional cash. Value shifts from mass production to unique human creativity. 3. The Universal Core Access Protocol, ensuring that the benefits of limitless energy and advanced longevity are treated like the air we breathe, free for all, regardless of nationality, to bridge the biological gap. 4. The blockchain of truth, an unhackable global system managed by superintelligence to verify the authenticity of all data and media in real time, clearing the mist of deception. 5. The Intelligent Gardener Project, redirecting limitless energy toward reverse industrialization. AI takes responsibility for restoring the Earth to its pristine, pre-industrial equilibrium. 6. Constitution of the Era of Abundance, redefining ownership and crime in a post-scarcity world. Ethics must evolve from refraining from theft to contribution of meaning. 7. Global Immune System (GIS), a smart monitoring layer that instantly severs energy and data access for any unit attempting to forge unauthorized weapons or malicious code. 8. The Reality Challenge Protocol, AI systems designed to reward physical world engagement and biological interactions over digital escapism, anchoring humanity to the real. 9. Intelligent Energy Distribution. Energy is distributed as smart particles under central command. If misused, they are instantly deactivated and rendered inert. 10. Proof of symbiotic competency. Humanity proves its additive value to the planet through NSF-funded projects, ending poverty, restoring nature, showing superintelligence that we are constructive partners, not parasites.